did a little smudge here. But no worry, in a future video I'll show you how to save such a mess.
There are days where everything that could go wrong will go wrong. Does that ring a bell? Welcome to the little horrors of episode 7 of Dyeing and Coloring Leather.
Oh no, that invisible cat again. And you can't clean it up. The more you try to fix it, the worse it gets. You made a boo-boo, you can't undo, time to throw a fit. Or...
You can call me a mad scientist if you want to. But I may have just what you've been looking for.
The boo-boo undo goo to undo all your boo-boos. 4 drops in a gallon will undo your recent mistakes. Use it undiluted and you can start all over with a clean slate. A special formula with snake oil and powdered dinosaur eggshell. Warning, may contain peanuts.
Boo-boo undo goo. Now, wouldn't that be a nice idea? But I'm sorry to say so, there's no such thing. That was a fake commercial. Besides, it says sweet and sour chicken on the label, written in Chinese. Anyway, time to call in the cavalry for help. And this time, the cavalry is going to be you and a few dye bottles. And we'll see what we can do.
A smudge picked up by your finger from God knows where and accidentally transferred to your workpiece is a classic. With a bit of luck, the dye didn't manage to penetrate too deeply. More often than not, such boo-boos will result in very superficial stains that can be carefully scraped off with a scalpel. Don't press too hard though. It will damage the grain side slightly and we may have to cover it up with a finish or wax to get back to an even surface. But what if the stain is too deep and after all I can't scratch a hole out of the piece of leather? As we learned, dye stains and paint covers. That is, you can paint over it with an acrylic paint. Looks like a way to sweep something under the carpet though, but mixing it to the right tone might be a bit of a challenge. Then again, if you did a few smudges with acrylics, remember that one only sticks to the surface, so scratching it off with a scalpel would be okay. But I don't like what I just did here, and the ultimate solution is just dye it all black. Yes, that's the big secret. You can't go wrong with colors. You always can dye it black. Next tool to fix a boo-boo are creative solutions. Depending on decoration or unsplattered parts of a design, we can make some decisions about how much we want to leave natural or how much we will be blackening over. This piece is destined to be a wallet folded in the middle. I kind of like that. Black knotwork on the back going light color to the front, as if it had been all planned. I still have to tone down the transition. So, as we've seen before, you can thin down colors, so I just thin my black down with lots of solvent and give it a first layer. And then always a little darker, little darker, little darker, and work my shading in to make a nice transition. Now look at this belt, fully black, and then glossed up on the surface. The highlights, they always fall right no matter where and how you turn the belt. Or you can highlight it with some acrylic dyes and give it a nice little contrast. Here's how we would do it. First we apply some acrylic paint generously and pay attention to work it all the way down into the finest cracks and stampings. Then we wipe it off, pressing lightly to remove the paint. What is left behind is the remaining paint in the recesses of the texture. And so we go on, maybe add a second layer. Next example is a small book cover with some tangle design on it. It's all black, but not for long. Okay, you get the drift. Let's speed it up a bit and we're gonna add some colors to it, as you'll see. Final touch-up is done with a block dyeing technique. It's just a piece of wood wrapped in with some denim, and I have some old dye on it, so I don't really put more dye on it. I just put some solvent to dilute the dye remnants. I want it slightly dry, not too wet, so the dye doesn't penetrate down into the recess of the relief or into the background. So just slightly move your block across your workpiece. Don't press too hard on it. You just want to get the tips that stick out. Now, was this planned or was it just a saved accident? I'm not going to tell you.
Our plan for next video would have been, you know what, but that block dyeing thing seems a lot more interesting to me. You may have to wait some more.